So, hi, I'm Natasha from Natasha's Painted Stories, and I am here with the amazing Jen Hutchins, who I just adore. And she is an incredible writer, artist, spiritual guide, leader, you name it. She is just filled with so much amazing goodness. And we just tried really hard to get on here and do a live. We've learned a lot together in the last few minutes. And we're just laughing about that as we popped on here. So it's a little test run for us on a joyful day. And I'd like to say this was the kickoff today of 10 days of joyful expression that I'm doing on my Substack. And this right here is one amazing and joyful moment. So I'm really happy to be here with you, Jen.
I'm so happy to be here too. And I think our unofficial theme, aside from joy, of course, is perseverance. Because it was like a half an hour of like, okay, I'm adding this, I'm trying that. And so to the viewers out there, just thank you for your patience. We know we promised you this like half an hour ago. So your gift today was the gift of practicing patience. Ours was the gift of perseverance. So that's what we have. This is creativity in action. Right?
Seriously is. This is actually art making in action, right?
Right?
Because it's
Yeah.
like you sit down and you're like, yeah, I totally know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create this amazing piece. It's going to be fantastic. And that's not at all what happens.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. No, it never is what you think it's going to be.
No, no. And this wasn't as well, this just seemed really like, okay, we could just hop on. It's easy. It'll be fine. No.
It's a button. I mean, how hard is a button?
Right. How hard could it be to press go live? Where are you? Throughout this day has actually been a lot like this for me, because I was trying to launch the 10 days and getting my shop up as well, and doing this. And I said to my daughter earlier today, I'm like, how many things can I do that take me out of my comfort zone in one day? So,
Yeah.
what about yours? How's yours been? Your day?
Um, yeah, actually, it's been a pretty good day. Lots of meetings, but meetings for good things. Setting up an event that's coming up out at Unity Village, which is where my physical studio is located. They've got Fountain Day coming up. So the village itself is like modeled after European architecture. And so there's this long series of fountains that run through the central courtyard. I mean, it's like being transported to Europe, like in the middle of the country. And it's just gorgeous. And our studio overlooks the courtyard with the fountains. And so next month, the fountains come back on for the spring season and through the summer. And so I will be there representing Unity Arts and doing some live plein air demonstrations and doing kindness rocks and things there. So we were meeting today to talk about that. I'm excited.
I love that.
Yeah, excited to participate, to get to bring my own art too. You know, a lot of times when you're in like work teacher mode, it's like you have to like, oh, me as an artist, like I'll just put that over here and I'm here, for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that I get to be both. Well, and that I will likely have a volunteer to help me, so I don't have to be multiple people at one time, which is even better.
That's actually great. Do you want to share a little bit about what your art is like, and then Unity Arts, so that folks know?
Gosh. So my own art, well, as all things, as all creative things, as ever evolving, right? But my passion, I always say, like there's the like, what's your love language? I'm like, my love language is paint. So like any type of paint, give it to me. I will throw love at a canvas or a piece of watercolor paper. And nature is truly what inspires me the most. Whether it's doing plein air and capturing, local landscapes, or traveling and capturing their local landscapes, or bringing in a bouquet of flowers and working with that. It's just, for me, there's just something about connecting with natural beauty through creativity, which is like just that full circle, I guess. It's like there's this source that created all of this beauty out there in the world for us. And so recreating it in my own way, my own flair, is sort of like my homage back to source. I love it. I love, it wasn't intentional, but I have so many pieces of art that have like a road or a path or something, through them. And I'm, in hindsight, right? It wasn't like intentional, but in hindsight, it's like, oh, it's like this place where the viewer, like we get to walk into that landscape. We get to like take ourselves out of this reality and into that one where anything's possible because it's painted world, So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so that's a bit about, my art. Well, you'll find on my website, all the art pieces themselves. And then what I do with others is help them reconnect with their creativity. I believe we are all born creative. Some of us have just lost that contact at an early age. And so I feel like one of my callings here on this planet at this time is to help people tease that back out of themselves and really come into that empowerment of self-expression again. And it doesn't have to be like so you can hang art on the wall, but so you can come back to yourself, like come back to that sense of wholeness. Because I feel like when we are creating, and I know that you experience this, we've talked a lot about this, that when you're creating, it's like you are tapping into and expressing part of yourself that we don't always get to experience. It becomes this healing journey just to put paint to page or words, put your pen to page, and expressing yourself, and sometimes just making a mess with it and having it not be visible to anybody else is extremely healing.
Yeah.
And so I like to create spaces where people can do that, where they can make a mess, not feel like there's any pressure, just to lean into the process. And it's so surprising, that like what might start as like they cautiously come into Unity Art Studio and scribble with a crayon and, have this moment of like, oh, I just felt something that I wasn't expecting through the act of creativity. And then they come back for more. And then it's like, before you know it, they're like, oh, Jen, I've got my first solo show. Just like, okay, I just gave you a crayon. Please don't like attribute this to me. But it's like just this over and over and over. Like for the last 20 years, I've seen this happen for people where it's like when we give ourselves permission to create anything and make a hot mess with it, whatever it is, it's like, then there's like, it's like the gateway drug, right? Like the crayon's the gateway drug to the painting.
Going downhill from here. You said that word too, that's just so key in it, I think, which is permission. Yeah. And as somewhere along, so when I was teaching art to kids, one of the things I would constantly look for is that space where all of a sudden a child goes from this exuberance, larger than life, loves to create, imagination is all over the place, to really unsure questions like, should I or can I do this? All of a sudden come in, and then my art isn't good enough. And I would watch that happen, really trying to stop and facilitate like this this space where kids could know, no, this, your imagination is so incredible and we need it. We don't need you to put it away, we need it. Yes. And then you come to adulthood and you have the adults who really do feel like they won't give themselves permission to play or to create. That's why I love you said even putting a crayon in your hand, like a doodle while you're talking on the phone. I'm definitely going back to the days of like when we didn't have cell phones. But like just that small act of getting back into creating, and for the sake of creating, not to make a masterpiece. And just as you said, not to hang on the wall, just to experience it. I know that one of the things very recently we were talking about too is there is this, space that I would step into where sometimes the things that I create or the way that things appear is not exactly how I sat down feeling. And I think it's a reminder. I might come to the page, and I actually had a wonderful mentor who was just talking about this recently. You come to the page and you're bringing all these things from your day, and whether that's, your worries about your kids or your job or the things you're doing, you sit down and create, and there's sort of this explosion of joy and beauty and color. And maybe you didn't feel quite that way, but I think what that is such a hopeful reminder that that's inside of us all the time. It's
Yeah.
actually there, and we can tap into it. We can explore all the different emotions, but there is a well that exists in us of creative possibility, of joy, of hope that we can tap into. And it's easy, I think, especially just in the world today, to forget that
Yeah.
and how beautiful that is and how needed it is.
Yes. Yeah. I love how you're sharing, about that, the concept of the joy through the art. And it can be, it's like, no matter what's going on out there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and sometimes in here,
Yeah.
like you said, it's like I might be feeling a mess, but I can come to the canvas and I can create something different. I remember years back, but this is reminding me, I had somebody come to one of my shows, and it was a show at the time in North Carolina. And so it was local landscapes, lots of blue skies, right? So
Mm.
like green grass, blue skies, white barns, picket fences, all the stuff, right? Like
Right.
rural North Carolina. And somebody walks in, they walked around, and then they were introduced to me, and they just looked at me and like very like sternly was just like, "Are you always this happy, or is this just a projection?"
What did you say?
I said,
No.
"This feels authentic, like it was authentically my creation." But it really, it was the first time that like I really like kind of was almost like taken back, because one, it almost came across like it was offending this person that like all of the art was like so like happy sunny days. Um and it's like I reflected on that later, and I was like, yeah, like I could paint depression and the darkness, and I'm like, but the
Mhm.
world has enough of that.
Yeah.
So what I want to capture and what I want to see on my walls is the beauty. I want
Yeah.
to like to feel that connection to nature and feel that sense of peace
Yeah.
that art can leave us with, no matter what's going on now in the world.
It's so funny because I have a piece of yours that actually hangs downstairs. And it is like, I think it was a sunrise. So you have the darker colors with that just beginning, the light just beginning on the horizon. And it is so beautiful. And I remember the moment I fell in love with it years ago, uh, because I loved the balance between the light and the dark, like that. It could be it could be a completely dark picture, but there is this little bit of light, and that's, I mean, you were capturing, not just the beauty, I think, in that respect of nature, but of life. Right? There's always that can, just that little bit. All we need is like that
It's still
much,
there.
and we're good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I just how people experience that idea of it's okay to be happy, which is an interesting concept, I feel like, these days. My son had said that a friend of his saw something that I posted online and asked, is your mom always that happy? And I thought, is that how I come across? It's pretty great. But like, I think when I'm sharing, I try to be as honest as possible, especially in my writing. I will talk about the things that, um, weigh heavy on my heart. But there is also, there's got to be a buoy, right? This is sort of picks me up, and that's very, when I'm sharing, it's honest. I will hop on and I will let you know that maybe today wasn't that great a day, but there's usually something I can find. And I feel like that's a skill that's like needing more practice. But it's because we're bombarded with so much noise that I think it's hard. You were talking about like it not being out there, like coming inside, when we're creating that art, and you creating a safe space for people to do that is essential, because I think it can get so noisy that you have to find a way to go in. And once you go inside, you can hear yourself again.
Yeah.
And that's key. I think that's key to just getting through every day, is
Yeah.
remembering to hear yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, it's so key too to bring up, there is that balance. It's like, yeah, the pieces that maybe end up on the gallery wall all look like, yay, like happy sunny days, right? Like you want to go cartwheel in the fields. But behind that, right, is a human being with real experiences and
Yes.
like the humanness, like I'm human too. And yes, if you saw my art journal, like that's where I dump the things that look like black fear and doubt, and
Yeah.
the inner critic like gets to voice itself there,
Yeah.
so that I can be, in that space of seeing the joy and seeing the beauty. So it's that constant balance of, being aware and being able to tap into, what's real in my life, to be
Yeah.
authentic. And I feel like that's what we do at Unity Arts, is give people that space, that safe space to be authentic
Yeah.
and to express themselves creatively so they can tap back into themselves. Um, but then we get to choose, what do we create? And I feel like it's not just what do we create on a canvas or what do we create on the page, but what are we creating with our lives?
Yeah.
What are we constantly telling ourselves? And when we have that space to be authentic and to really, be honest with ourselves, we then can like choose
Yeah.
how we're responding, and choosing, if I can call out, like we've been intentionally partnering up as
Hmm.
accountability partners for our
Yes.
creativity this month. And
Ugh.
it's just been so important
Yeah.
because, again, human.
Yeah.
And so there are those moments of self-doubt and
Mm.
and inner critic voice. And yeah, I can voice it in my journal, but then I look at it and the voice just goes, see, now I'm here. Now I'm real. And the moment that I can go, okay, but I got something even better than you. And I can reach out to a friend, and I just, thank you for being there. Thank you for being part of this journey. Um, to be able to witness those pieces, because I think in life, that's, when we're being bombarded by all of these things, we have choices in how we create what we create, but sometimes we need somebody to help lift us up so that we can see that light, like you're talking about, right? Like just that little bit of light on the horizon. And I think that's what creative community can do for us is help us see that light, to be authentic, and then to express and create what we really want to focus on in life.
It's also like, thank you for being there. And I have texted and been like, oh my God. Like, I very honestly and very transparently, I had a whole experience where I was feeling really doubtful. I wasn't sure of anything I was doing and putting out into the world and getting ready to reveal. And you not only brought me back, thank you for the lifeline, but it's one of those things that we all go through. And it's true, when you're working on something, it's so easy to stay in here, and reaching out can be hard, but it's a process. Like, once you get used to it, you can continue to do it. But that experience, just as you said, of being human, and having a space to say, right this second, I'm not real sure, is so healing.
Yeah.
And it's so good to be able to say the words out loud, because I feel like as adults, we're supposed to walk around in the world and have all the answers and know all the things. And that's so weird to me, um, because when you're walking around like that, it doesn't allow for the learning and the growth. And I know that, and I know this on such a cellular level, growth is so uncomfortable. It
Mm.
is so uncomfortable. I tend to notice that when I am at my most uncomfortable, I'm like, oh, going through a period of real growth here. And it's funny because I watched one of my kids is growing taller, and he's like, oh, he's feeling it. That's just how it feels throughout life. I think this
Mm.
very uncomfortable space of you're taken out of your comfort zone, or you're testing yourself in a new way, and that's great. I want to do it for the rest of my life, even though it's scary, and have you there at the other end, so you can be like, hey, that was great, we got through it together. We did it. But
I'm
it's,
here.
yeah, yeah, me too.
And just again, like, just to know, we're creating a video, so like it's easy to get wrapped up in. We are having a lovely conversation, um, which, by the way, I just have to say, Tasha and I had this conversation one time on the phone, and we said, we should start a podcast, and we'll call it Tasha and Jen Talk on the Phone. So coming soon. But really, the all of the things that we're sharing, it's about like living this life that we're in, and living in these times that we're in, and recognizing that all of us are in a physical body, and that physical body has needs, and that creativity is one way that we can help to balance, all the things that we're holding in the body. Because, like you said, that word bombarded, we are so bombarded by so much. So for those of you listening, those of you here live, hello, and tuning in later, like, I hope that the biggest thing that you get out of this is that you're not alone. Yeah. That, if you create and you feel joy, hallelujah. And if you create and you are in a space of hot messness, hallelujah, like, let it through, let your body feel it. Yeah. And let it process and let it heal you. Let yourself come back to your wholeness. And if you have any sort of calling to express yourself creatively, by all means do it. If it is there, it is yours to do. So don't let anybody, including yourself, stop you from that. Find yourself an accountability partner. Reach out to Tasha, reach out to me, reach out, to your loved ones. Get somebody behind you that is that person that's like your biggest cheerleader, and don't let the inner critic tear you down, like, ever. There's always somebody that's willing to help lift you into that space of wholeness, because the world needs as much light as it can get right now. And I think the creatives, the artists, are the ones to bring it.
Hands down. I mean, I can't say it any better than that. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up today. We will be back. So to all of you who did tune in, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's amazing to have you here in this creative space. It's going to be growing and changing, and conversations will be happening. So my hope is that you'll come back. And Jen, we'll be back. Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll be back very soon. All right.
Jen Talk on the Phone.
We now know how to do it. We can get out here. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Jen. And we'll talk again very soon.
All right. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Bye.